Over the years, the one question I get time and time again is how do I get started making games? After making tons of games with different languages, engines, and frameworks, and with the release of my first official commercial game happening soon called Dewdrop Dynasty, which you can totally wishlist on Steam right now, thank you. I feel like I have a good idea on what it takes to get started. So starting off, you need to pick a game engine or a framework. If you're an absolute beginner or you know nothing about coding, programming logic, or even art, then you should probably use Scratch MIT. Also, all the software I mentioned in this video will be linked in the description below, so no need to take any notes. Anywho, Scratch, it's simple, it's easy to use, and chances are you've already messed around with it in school. The biggest downside is that you can't export games or sell them, so keep in mind it's more so just a tool for learning how to make games. Now, for those of you who are younger, come from an artist background, or just hate coding with a burning passion, then you should use a game engine that uses visual scripting. Visual scripting basically uses little Lego looking blocks or nodes to program without needing any code, basically what you're doing in Scratch. It's great for smaller projects, but it can kind of be a nightmare when you work with large projects, so just keep that in mind. Now, my number one recommendation, if you have the money and if you're trying to develop an indie game, it's probably Construct 3 or Construct 3, however you want to say it. It's polished, easy to use, and has a lot of quality of life features, and you can even use it in your browser, which is cool. If you don't want to pay annually for software, but you want something similar to Construct, then you're definitely going to want to check out GDevelop. It has a lot of similarities and it's completely free to use. It doesn't have all the nice features that Construct has, but hey, you can't beat free. And lastly, GameMaker is a really good pick, especially for those who want to code eventually and have a smooth transition, as with GameMaker, you can do both. So Construct 3 if you plan on sticking with visual scripting, or GameMaker if you want to eventually transition. I'll also quickly mention that if you have a background in 3D or you want to make like really hyper realistic games, then Unreal Engine is a really good option. Now, I'm very wary to recommend it because I've seen a lot of unoptimized and just clunky games where people don't learn any fundamentals. So make sure if you're going into this that you have some sort of experience, and I probably wouldn't do it as a beginner. Now, if you're not afraid of learning how to code and you're looking for probably the fastest way of making a bigger indie game, then you'll just want to use a normal game engine. And this might come as no surprise, but Godot is my personal favorite engine. It's 100% free and open source, no royalties. You can make both 2D and 3D games. And GDScript, which is Godot's built-in language, is pretty easy to pick up as it's based off of Lua and Python, which, if you don't know, are like the easiest languages to learn. Now, this might come as a shock for some people, but I think Unity is a great alternative as well. Though keep in mind that unlike Godot, it isn't entirely free, so make sure to read that fine print. But a major strength of Unity is it's been around for a long time, so there's plenty of learning resources making it easier for someone to pick up and start using. And once again, I have to mention GameMaker is a fantastic pick. It was the first game engine I ever used, so I have a little soft spot for it. Its real strength lies with 2D games, though you can technically make 3D games as well. Anywho, it's a really good alternative because it's very different from Godot and Unity, so if you're not a big fan of those engines, then you can give it a shot. Lastly, and I'll mention this briefly, but if you're a developer or you really enjoy coding or you just love having complete control over your projects, then I would recommend not using a game engine starting out and just use a framework instead. For those who don't know what a framework is, it's just a library of code you can use as a base for developing games. What's great about this method is you don't have to learn a whole entire new engine. You can just start coding and making stuff. It's great. And yes, in theory, it takes longer to develop games, but it's super enjoyable and rewarding. And also, you pretty much don't have any limit on what you can create, which is awesome. I personally would recommend Pygame if you're using Python, or Love2D for Lua if you're just getting started. They're both decently documented, are pretty easy to start making games with. Now, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, or if you're more of a fan of the C languages, then definitely check out Raylib, and especially SDL, as it's fantastic and a lot of games are made with it. I personally used Java recently to make a game, and it was a really great experience. So pick your language and find a framework that works best for you. So hopefully by now you have an idea on what engine or what framework you want to use. You'll also need some extra software for making the artwork or 3D models or music and sound and etc. I actually made a whole video on what I think the best free software for game development is, so definitely check that out if you're interested on what software you should get. Now it's time for the fun part, making your first project. And it's actually quite simple. Your first project should be a clone project. Ever heard of Pong, Space Invaders, or maybe Flappy Bird? Well, recreating these basic games is the best way to help you understand programming logic, setting up artwork, and just actually making a project from start to finish. Instead of focusing your energy on trying to make something new, you're able to just concentrate on the basics. Human beings have been doing this for thousands of years. It's no different than art students recreating old classic Van Gogh pieces, or maybe babies learning how to speak by just repeating what their parents are saying. So it's really important to copy. Now, it's also important to understand that you're copying to learn, not to steal. So don't go pretending that you invented Snake or asteroids or something. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, you're saying to yourself, I need to recreate classic games, but how? How do I learn to do that? And this is also pretty simple. Find a YouTube tutorial series for the engine or framework you want to use and just follow along from start to finish. It's really that easy, albeit a little bit boring sometimes. I get it, but stick with it. Another great alternative to this, if you have the money, is to purchase a course to follow. Though the only downside to a course is sometimes they can be a little long-winded, making them harder to finish. And if you're still scratching your head after you followed some weird Snake tutorial, that's okay. It takes time for all the information to click, so either rewatch the series for a more thorough education or just find a different series. But the main thing is that you're following and learning. Also, if you're not using visual scripting, then you should definitely be learning some coding fundamentals as well. Things like what are variables and how do arrays work. And if you're struggling on what language you should learn first, then try Python. It's a great first choice. It's probably one of the easiest languages to learn, and you can even learn it on your phone using apps like SoloLearn, so there's really no excuse. Also, Harvard's CS50 video series on YouTube is amazing. They literally start from the basics and you'll get such a thorough education that it's really worth a watch. Okay, so you're working through your first clone project, you're following tutorials, and the odds are you're probably gonna get stuck at some point. Now, the great thing about watching a series is you can go back and rewatch what you messed up. But when you eventually start working on your own projects, you're gonna need to learn how to properly find answers for things that you're stuck on. And the best way to do it, and this seems like a no-brainer, but I'm always shocked by the amount of people that don't just search online for the answers. Especially for beginners, I would say 99% of the questions you have already have been answered online. I would say that 9 times out of 10, all the problems that I've had or gotten stuck with programming, I've been able to find the solution just by searching for it online. It's that simple. The next thing is that pretty much every game engine or framework has documentation or a manual. What's great about these manuals is they tell you exactly what a certain function can do. Plus, a lot of times, like in the case of Godot, the manual's built inside the engine. All I do is control click a function and boom, I can read what it does. I get it, if you're younger or not a fan of reading, this might be a little daunting, so don't worry if it takes a little bit before you get comfortable with it. It took me a while. And if you're feeling super extra, you can even just read the manual to learn about your engine just for fun. I've done this on many occasions and I've been always surprised by what I find out my engine can do. I had no idea. So read your manual, there's a lot of great information in it. Now, eventually you'll hit a problem that you just can't find the answer to. And this is when I recommend that you join a game development forum, or better yet, a forum dedicated to your engine or your framework, and ask a question. But please, before you ask your question, make sure to read your forum's rules properly, make sure your question hasn't been asked already, give context, show code. Most importantly, get ready to be absolutely roasted. So you're probably wondering, where do I go from here? Try to just play around with the game that you've already established and introduce a new mechanic to it. Then you should start to make your own small projects. Now, you're still gonna probably heavily be relying on tutorials. You're not gonna know how to pick up a coin, so you're gonna have to look up how to pick up a coin in Godot. But the goal at this point is you should be able to start piecing together how this logic works, how this code works, to start making a game that does what you want it to do. This is where joining a game jam could be helpful, because then you're gonna have a time frame and a limited scope, and it kind of forces you to make something from start to finish without getting too ambitious. I'm immediately gonna contradict myself and say, make that dream project. One of my earliest projects I worked on was an MMO, which was silly. But the funny thing is I learned how to do networking, and I learned all these other skills that I wouldn't have if I didn't work on that project. So you can learn a lot from things that you're passionate about. So don't be afraid to experiment and just try new things. And that's really it. There's no secret sauce. There's no magic recipe to start making games. It's really just getting kind of a thorough education in the beginning and just practicing. It does take time, and sometimes it can be a little boring, but game development is so rewarding and it's so worth it. Now, if you're curious on how to get started with coding, another great option is today's sponsor, Brilliant. Okay, you might know this by now, but Brilliant is where you learn by doing, with thousands of interactive lessons in math, data analysis, programming, and of course, AI. Now, one thing I really like about it is Brilliant helps build your critical thinking skills through problem solving, not memorization. So while you're building real knowledge on specific topics, you're also becoming a better thinker. Brilliant is a learning platform designed to be uniquely effective. Each lesson is filled with hands-on problem solving that can let you play with concepts, a method proven to be 6 times more effective than just watching boring lecture videos. Plus, all the content on Brilliant is crafted by an award-winning team of teachers, researchers, professionals from MIT, Caltech, Duke, Microsoft, and learning a little every day is one of the most important things you can do for both your personal and professional growth. Brilliant helps you build real knowledge in minutes a day with fun lessons you can do whenever you have time. It's basically the opposite of mindlessly scrolling, which is a beautiful thing. Now, if you want to start programming, Brilliant has a growing number of programming courses that are a great way to start building foundational programming skills and learn real-world applications. Get familiar with Python and start building programs on day one with a drag and drop editor. Learn essential coding elements, things that everyone should know like loops and variables. And most importantly, develop your mind to actually think like a programmer. To try everything Brilliant has to offer for free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/Goodgis or click the link in the description. You'll also get 20% off annual premium subscription, so check it out. If you have any questions or any advice you would give first-time game devs, please leave a comment down below. Thanks so much for watching, and check out one of these videos that YouTube thinks you might like.